All right, guys, welcome back to the Golf Podcast. It's an exciting week because we've got the PGA, right? Not only that, we've got it leading up to it, quite a few storylines going. So totally. The first one, we're going to dive into a full PGA Championship breakdown. We're going to talk about the course. We're going to talk about, who we think could really shine this week. Some of the ones we're a little bit worried about. I'm looking at like Jordan Spieth with the injury with the wrist.
Yep.
Because I'd love to see him complete the career slam.
You think it was real? I never I know we always talk about guys faking it, but like these guys are getting burnt out. And they say the only way you can not pick a designated event is if you have an injury.
I just don't think he would do it there.
Yeah.
TNT
Any placement there. I agree.
Big sponsor. He's been there every single year. I don't think that he would have just sat it out. I think it's legit. So we're gonna break all that down. But leading up to it, I mean, we had what a week. First of all, I could not be happier about seeing Jason Day.
Yeah.
Complete this.
I know that's your guy.
Yes. I mean, this is a guy who not only the storyline, the emotion of it, winning on Mother's Day, he lost his mother just about a year and a half ago. You saw his whole family there. By the way, Dash, look how big Dash is.
I was just saying that. I was like, the last time this guy won, Dash was like running out to his dad little.
It's been like 5 years since he won. But we've been talking about this on the show. I feel like every week was like, look at Day, knocking on the door, coming up. I think he had 5 top 10s so far this season.
Yeah, totally
like
shot up the rankings too. Yep.
He's been moving his way up, building on it. And we see a win. And okay, it wasn't, a stacked field, but there was, I mean, you can't take away from his win. He's fighting out with Scottie Scheffler, down the line.
Yep.
There was a birdie and eagle festival going on out
People
there.
People were going low at this course, right?
They were, but he had to play, and he had to play well. And I think all parts of his game looked great to the point where I'm thinking like, this is something he can build on. And the good news is now this means we're going to see more of Jason Day for the next year or 2 years, because winning a PGA Tour event is going to unlock a lot.
He's here for a bit, yeah.
Here's a guy who was missing events. I'm thinking him just like Ricky Fowler, missing events because the fact that they just weren't qualifying their way in.
Right.
But similar to Ricky, who's also playing well again, I think the PGA Tour as an entertainment product in general is better off when Jason Day is winning. And I think this is good for the tour as well, because he's a good guy. He's a guy that a lot of people, it's easy to root for him to win. And I think when his game is on, he's one of the best out there.
Totally.
I remember when he was world number 1, but now he had to rebuild his swing with the injuries that he had and the issues like that. So
I'm glad to see he came back strong, because there were rumblings like a long time ago of him like joining the Aussie vibe and going to live, like, because a lot of people were questioning, is this the end of his career? He hasn't won in a while, but then he just dialed it up, man. It was great to see him. He was throwing, especially that dart on the 72nd hole, just to like he needed that birdie and he put it close. It was raining.
Yeah, the rain.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good thing to see, and then we'll see like as that progresses. And then on the other side with Liv, we saw Dustin Johnson get a win.
Yep.
Which I want to talk a little bit more about in a second as we get into talking about, the PGA, because, it's still proof that these guys are in form. Look at Koepka came in off a win to the Masters, and look what he did.
Still strong, three live events since. I think he finished like 11th, 3rd, and 2nd. So he's still trending coming into an event that he's capable of winning.
No doubt about it.
Yep.
So that was a big thing. And I don't know, is the tide changing a bit with Liv? Because now we're seeing like Golf Channel like doing recaps.
Saw it this morning. They recapped Liv. I was scratching my head.
Because they've been kind of keeping it at arm's length.
It went from not even mentioning anything
to
like they gave it maybe a 15-second recap.
Right.
I saw Dustin won. Here was the leaderboard. It went to a playoff with Brandon Grace, Cameron Smith. Boom. Saw some champagne flying, and then that was it. But they gave him the credit.
At least they put him on. But I don't know. Liv continues, though, to get in its own way.
Yeah.
In one way or another. Because now, like, reports are coming in, because it didn't happen everywhere. It depends on the different markets. But obviously, Liv's carried by the CW.
Yep.
You had this epic, coming down the stretch. You had 3 guys tied. You had Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, and
Grace.
Brandon Grace are tied for the lead. And just without warning, it cuts the CW in a lot of markets, just cuts the feed and just turns over to different people were seeing different things.
And
there was an interview going on. There was stuff like that. I mean, here you could see if you're watching the show.
The putt was about to drop, and
people recording their screens. They're watching it. It's like it's heating up, and then all of a sudden, boom. So this is the thing where like Liv continue to get in their own way. Like even for the people who do want to watch it, they've got a watchability problem. You know, they're trying to get more people to watch it so it becomes more financially viable. Then you got your people who are watching it. They're getting involved, and then you cut the feed.
You cut it. That doesn't happen on the tour, though. You notice that? Like in our market, we always have 60 minutes afterwards. And they don't care if that thing drops down to 22 minutes. They're showing the whole PGA Tour event, and then that'll come on at the end.
Push everything back. Right. But it makes you wonder, is it a function of ratings? Because, not long ago we were talking about on the show how, the Liv was rating on the CW below a lot of its other shows. I think it was like Animals having a bad day.
Whatever Attack or something. I don't know.
What was the name of the show? Was getting higher ratings than Liv.
World's Funniest Animals.
World's Funniest Animals was getting higher ratings. So I think maybe then the way they're like, cut to the show that's getting higher ratings.
Right.
I don't know whose mistake it was, but like these are the things that got to get ironed out.
Yeah, totally.
But the other thing I got to say that Liv has got to do better with, like, I admittedly didn't watch it this week. Right. I still think it's harder to watch. CW is one problem. Yep. I don't really have the app. I used to catch it some bit in the live stream on YouTube.
Yep. Totally.
That was easier for me, but it's not on YouTube anymore. Like I am in no way one of those guys who are protesting Liv. Like I'm not intentionally not watching it.
Right. Same.
I just keep finding myself and be like, I didn't watch it. And I'm like, is this a messaging problem? Like half of it is like, I literally am hindsight be like, oh shoot, there was a Liv event this week.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right.
Right. And like versus like, okay, how much of that with me with the PGA Tour, having been someone who's been watching the PGA Tour for 20 years, how much of it is that I've got a rhythm and an understanding? Like I've got this familiarity, like the AT&T Byron Nelson. Okay. I've been watching that for years. So I know, this week's the AT&T. I know the schedule.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know what's not like what event is this week. And I'm just like, it's in my consciousness and I just turn it on. Right. It's also easy to find. It's on the same channel every week, all that stuff. Right. Liv, like, I feel like they got to get better at promoting what's coming up this week, getting people more in a rhythm. Now, part of it's because it's brand new. Part of it's because the schedule's changed one year to the next. That they're growing the schedule. I don't know how much it's a function of time versus messaging.
I don't know. I mean, I'm constantly fed from the PGA Tour clips of the week. Like I know what's going on tour from their clips.
Right.
Like, Thigala holes out. I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm seeing clips. But I don't know if it's just a product of like Liv social media isn't strong enough.
No, Liv is pushing stuff out on social media constantly.
Well, I don't see it. It doesn't hit my Explore feed. It's not nearly like the PGA Tour.
Right.
I live on social media. I'm there all day.
All day. And you know what? Anytime like the PGA Tour event wraps up, you'll see a picture of the guy with the trophy, like Golf Channel, golf.com. Congrats. Yeah. But I don't see any Liv.
Right. I have to go to Liv to see
You have to go to
I also think that that's because when a PGA Tour event ends, you're getting about five Instagram handles posting a photo of the winner. And pretty much when a Liv event ends, it's only the Liv handle and maybe one other. Like I know Golf Digest posted DJ winning, but you're not getting golf.com. Like you're just not getting the majority of these
whatever
handles.
They have to work out with whatever. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a visibility problem. Like I find I'm always playing catch up with Liv where it's just like, wait, what happened this week? I didn't even realize they had an event this week.
Well, let me ask you this too. Is it also think about demographic. I mean, 5 years ago when Day was like dominant, I mean, we were still in our 30s. We were deep into our PGA Tour. Think about a kid who's 14. Now he's 9. He didn't know who Jason Day was.
Yeah.
But maybe they only know Liv. So I don't know if these kids are coming up watching Liv. Is this going to be built for them? And are we just like we're so used to Tour and the guys we used to seeing? I don't know.
You guys can, don't know. Weigh in the comments with your own experiences. I've also been just kind of doing my own like sample set. Like whenever we play golf with different people, I'm on the course.
Just ask them,
I ask them. So far, I've seen the same kind of thing coming back about Liv. We were even down in DC last week, down in Maryland, and a lot of the guys were saying like they were confused whether they had the CW down there, and it just like so far it just hadn't captured their attention.
And it was the same vibe. It wasn't any hate. Like there was no protest.
Right, and that's what I'm saying for myself is like it's not that I don't want to watch it. It's that it hasn't captured my attention.
That's just it.
And maybe it is. It's the storylines of the names, the storylines of the courses, the storylines of the events themselves.
Right.
I don't know, but it could be something that's just, it's going to take time. The PGA Tour was built over decades. I think the problem is Liv doesn't have time in their corner.
Yeah,
if they don't start bringing in the revenue, they're not going to survive. So they've got to find a way to get that messaging out. Like, this is the event this week.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, get your guys out there. Like, all these guys are contracted guys. Get them out there on every podcast, every show.
Exactly.
Everything will take them. That's not just me like a ploy to get free guests here.
Right.
And also,
what I'm saying is get them out there promoting. This is where we are this week. This is how you can watch.
Yep.
And on TV, have you ever seen a Live commercial?
No.
Like, Live should be making commercials and airing them on ESPN, CBS, literally any network that will have their commercial
in the beginning. Why not?
Like, and just flood the market with it.
We know you got an unlimited budget.
Do it during PGA Tour events. Like, here's your market watching it. Like, there's a Live event.
Also, like, during the PGA,
Live is on right now.
Right.
You know?
During the PGA this weekend, they should have 25 commercials.
They should
be like, oh, you like our players that are playing in this major? Watch them more next weekend.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a messaging problem. Like, take some of that budget, cut together the most highlight reels you have, and throw them everywhere so people know what's going on. Because right now, most people I ask are either A, unaware that there was a Live event that week, or B, don't even know how to watch it.
Right.
So I don't know, but that's my own take. But regardless, like I said, it was a good week, and now we're building in. We've got Oak Hill. PGA Championship. It's been like a decade since they were last at Oak Hill. So a lot of guys have not played the course, at least in their professional career.
Yeah.
It's a different course, a very different course with the renovation. The place looks amazing. I would die to play there.
Amazing.
I believe it had a full restoration to the Donald Ross design. In 2019, it had a full renovation back to how Donald Ross designed the course originally. Andrew Green went in and totally redid the entire thing.
They took out tons of trees. There's a lot of the Donald Ross false fronts, and it is tight. They're saying some of these fairways 20 yards across.
Yeah,
you know, but it's gonna be an exciting. It's a perfect setup for a major as far as I'm concerned.
It's just I love these both U.S. Open and the PGA Tour and the PGA Championship because they are always held at like random country clubs throughout the country. And it's funny, you never ever hear or see the course until that week. Yeah. Right, like Oak Hill. Like if you're not into
Oak Hill is actually the second most hosted PGA Championship venue. Second, but it's to like Southern Hills.
Has it been like 10 years though?
It has been a while, but still, it's like still has.
But it's gonna feel like a new place, is what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
You know, even like a lot of times you'll go off of what it was last time and how they perform well, but it's different.
It's different.
It's shuffling up anybody who's doing like fantasy or DFS predictions, like stuff like that. You're like, okay, this place is different,
and it has teeth. I mean, it's got not only the tight, but that 260-yard par 3.
I know.
There's a lot of cool little features about this course.
Well, this is what makes me wonder then. Does the course really favor the guys who can bomb it? Is this a course that can be with the tree removal? Is this a course that can be overpowered? Yeah. And yes, you've got a lot that's going to favor a guy who's got a good short game because you've got these runoffs that could be like if you miss a bad spot of the green, it could run 20, 30 yards away. Yeah. But what's on my mind is even thinking about like what DeChambeau did at Wingfoot.
Overpowered Wingfoot,
right?
Yeah.
You know, okay, the rough, it's going to be, and just be prepared. Like there's going to be 100 videos.
You saw the Maple Moore in Westchester rough. Just picture, this is,
But there's going to be 100 videos on Instagram coming out with dropping balls in the rough. This is how deep the rough is. We know the rough's going to be punishing, and we know the fairways are only 20 yards wide. But with the trees out, with a lot of the trees out, what's to say that Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, they can't take aggressive lines, bomb it, and just like we saw with DeChambeau at Wingfoot, you may be in the rough, but he might be 40 yards out on a par 4 in the rough, and he wedges it on the green. So one thing I would say is I would not sleep. I know he's not been performing well, but don't sleep on Bryson. He's long odds. I think it's not a bad idea to throw a couple bucks on him. Did you see his recent graphic of like, again, they do this every year, how far he hits every club?
What's mini driver? I always want to ask that.
That's like his 3-wood.
Okay.
So, but it's like, it's more versatile. He can use it off the tee, but 340 yards driving, stock yardages, 305 with the mini driver. I mean, his 60-degree wedge is 110 yards.
Yeah, his driving iron goes further than my driver. Yep.
So what I'm saying is like, yeah, so his driving iron 270 when he needs to find a tight fairway in those couple spots where it's going to be a little bit more punishing. And he can't go, but just a guy like that, I could just see him, or like I said, Dustin Johnson coming in form off a win. They could bomb this place, and I think this one favors the heavy hitters.
And also, have you seen the physical changes that Bryson has gone through over the last 6 months?
Yeah.
He looks like a different dude.
Yeah,
he looks like
changing.
Bryson of old when he was like nice and skinny.
Yeah.
I think he had to dial it back a bit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was beefing up, but he's still one of the big guys out there. And I think it's just like, look out for the big athletic dudes this week. Look out for even Koepka. And it makes me wonder, like, are we going to start to see like the Koepka who just shows up now that he's healthy again, the Koepka who shows up for majors, or was the Masters kind of a one-off?
No, I think this dude carries a fire on his shoulders of people who doubt him.
Well, Mike, what were his last couple events?
It was 11-3-2. But forget about the Masters. I think, did he finish second or third?
At the Masters.
I think he fell off or whatever. But then he went on to go 11th, 3rd, and 2nd. And don't discount the smaller live field. Even last place on live, I think, is 48th place. So he still finished 11th, 3rd, and 2nd. He's still trending. He's hot.
Yeah, and I think this will be another one of those stories. Like, what will this ultimately be for publicity for live? Because I think we talked before, obviously joking about the coverage and like the commercials.
This is huge.
But the best publicity live has had to date was how they all played at the Masters.
Yeah.
So do they back that up? You know, even the storyline of look at Phil Mickelson. Mm-hmm. You know, here's a guy who won the PGA 2 years ago and came in second at the Masters.
He's going to have a big storyline this week.
Don't discount.
They're going to be talking about him a lot.
So, you know, you think about it and you're like, live could go one of two ways. They could have another really strong showing, which what that does is it shows, and what's the evidence? Like, what does it prove? Mm-hmm. It proves that there's a good caliber of play on live and people should go watch it. Is what the storyline that they're going to be weaving. Or the other option is, they don't play well, and it's going to their backs against the wall. It's going to hurt them because it just drives the storyline that, you know, live is cut rate when it comes to fields.
Right.
So they know there's a lot of pressure on their back to at least do that kind of showing, have a couple of guys in the mix in the top 10. And with guys publicity. Like Koepka, DJ, Bryson,
Cam Smith,
I think there's no doubt that one of those names is in the top 5 for me.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
No doubt. And you were talking about the course and how tough it was and these guys bombing it. And if you have a 40-yard pitch shot from the rough, you're also hitting from deep rough 40 yards on a green that's going to be running at probably like a 15 with false fronts, with no spin because you're coming out of the heavy rough. I mean, what do you think the final score is going to win? What was it going to be, like -8? Like, it could be a really, really hard one.
Yeah. But like I said, I think you could see, like, Bryson, like, even him 60 yards.
We had the same storyline at Wingfoot. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. There's a very good ability to wedge it, or even if there's no spin, like, hit the front of that false front and let it run up because it's not going to spin back. Like, there's ways that these guys can do it. And I think that there's a chance that there's going to be a couple of the big hitters who put some low numbers up that might surprise us.
I would Texas wedge that place to death. I go like
fairway Texas wedge,
7-iron Texas wedge.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just wild. But I'll tell you what. Let's do. We got a lot more to talk about with the PGA. Let's just break right here. Let's do a quick word from our sponsors. We'll jump right back into it. So guys, the Vokey SM9 wedges are a product of superior handcrafted technology, and each one is an instrument of creative control. And they're created from some of the most advanced materials. We even got to get a chance when we were out in California to get into the plant and see how some of these clubs were made. And it's just phenomenal when you get to see the process. And they really are engineered to deliver that ideal flight and spin, something that you and I have tested and worked on in countless fittings before. It's one of those things you feel it and then you believe it when you get out there and use them. But they've got grinds designed to release your best wedge play possible. And there are many ways to make a wedge, but there's only one way to make a Vokey. So guys, that's the Titleist Vokey Design SM9 wedges, superior handcrafted technology, and find yours at Vokey.com.
All right, here's the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro if you haven't seen it yet. We've done a couple videos on our main channel with it. And, you know, some of the features that this launch monitor gives you are the basics like distance, ball speed, club speed, launch angle. And that's just to name a few. I mean, this thing is packed packed. And we talked a lot about the shot dispersion feature as one of our favorite features, but what we don't talk about, Frank, a lot is the actual simulation part of this thing. And we've been having fun, and it sets up not only as a mobile launch monitor, but all that data. But we drop this thing down. You can pop up a net if you got a screen at home, whatever, and you got yourself a simulator. So they have a built-in sim right in there, which I love, and you can also connect it to third-party sims. Like we've had fun with Awesome Golf. Yeah. How cool has that been? It's got some built-in courses. It's got some unique graphics, got some games, challenges, and a lot of fun things. So for $700, guys, I mean, honestly, if you want that kind of technology in your home or your office or wherever, or just at the range to practice and get better at golf, pick up an MLM2 Pro. Go to rapsodo.com. You are not going to want to miss this.
Hey guys, we've partnered with DraftKings this week to give you guys an incredible offer. That's right, from tee to green, the best place to get in on all the action this week is in DraftKings Sportsbook. And this week, new customers will receive an odds boost to add plus 1,000 to any pre-tournament wager, up to $10 on any golfer to win.
So for example, if you're a new customer and you see a golfer to win the tournament at plus 1,000 odds, DraftKings will boost that golfer to plus 2,000 odds to give you a shot for a bigger payout. And DraftKings will be featuring parlays and odds boost all tournament long. So be sure to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day before the tournament starts to see what they have in store.
So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code Golficity and boost your odds during this weekend's tournament. Remember, that's code Golficity only on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, let's get back to the show.
And also FootJoy. FootJoy, you know, we talk about how much we love the shoes FootJoy. I've been talking about it for years, but did you know you guys can create your own? And like, we've been having so much fun with this. We actually did it. We were on a trip recently. We were just hanging around, and we called Win, and we were in the hotel room. We were like, let's build this shoe because the U.S. Open was coming up, and we wanted to do this California-inspired shoe. So we did this whole thing. It was really unique. Got a lot of different color patterns, different logos you could put on it. And like, I showed my father the other day, and he's like, I didn't know you can do this for a golf shoe, because he was asking me, I need a golf shoe for the season. I'm like, Dad, create your own.
Yeah.
And he's like,
speaking with Father's Day's coming up.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that leads me to this next point. I mean, like, here's a great gift idea. Go to footjoy.com and go to the My Joy section. Customize your own shoe. You guys will have fun. Even if you don't buy it. I mean, you will buy it after you build it, trust me. But if you don't, it's fun to go through. And like I said, you could do like a million different options with this thing. So go have fun with that. Go check it out. FootJoy, the #1 shoe in golf. Now you can build your own. Go check it out.
All right, so jumping back into it. So a couple of the other storylines that we have here. One, like we mentioned earlier, Jordan Spieth, right? Mm-hmm. So he needs the career slam. He missed the AT&T Byron Nelson because of what he calls severe pain in his wrist. Mm-hmm. I know these guys have the best doctors around them. I know they've got all that.
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to contend.
You think?
Yeah.
I just worry because wrist injuries tend to be those lingering, nagging injuries. And you're talking about a place with deep rough and a place that can really be physically bruising. Mm-hmm. It worries me that even if we do see him in the field, I worry about like a late withdrawal. I think like he might get in there for a practice round, see how it feels.
I don't know. I'm hoping that
this is the one he doesn't want to miss.
Is right, exactly. I'm hoping it was maybe he felt a little something, and it was tough for him to exit out of the Byron Nelson, just rest it, and put all his focus on this.
Yeah, I think if anything, if he was on the fence with resting last week, it's because his sights have to be like, you got to think every year Jordan is putting a big circle on the PGA week.
Yep.
Because he wants that career slam.
Totally.
So while I don't have high hopes for it, I do hope to at least see him in there, see him in contention. Mm-hmm. Speaking of injuries, the other one that I think it's sad to not see this week is Zalatoris.
Of course.
Sitting out the year with the surgery.
Because he would have been a top 10.
The way he played at the country club for the U.S. Open just makes me feel like Zalatoris would have been a guy to look out for hard this week.
Yeah, but he's done for the season.
He's done for the season. I still can't argue with his move, and he had to do it. He's a young guy. He's got so much great career ahead of him. Just get this surgery done, get done with it, and get healthy. But Zalatoris is one that it hurts to not see him in the field.
It does. I'm telling you right now, this might be one of the hardest, despite him not being in the field, the hardest PGA Tour majors to bet on, because you think about it, there's so many people that could win. I'm talking like straight out right winner bets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, took a peek this morning, like Dustin's going off at 25 to 1. Mm-hmm. He's way down there. Guy's just coming off a win.
Some of these guys,
hitter.
Like I'm saying, it doesn't hurt to throw a couple
$10 for 250. You know what I mean?
Rahm's still the favorite though, right?
Rahm definitely the favorite. I think 7 to 1.
Which incredible, by the way. Okay, like think about this for a second. Rahm wins. I think not only is that his fifth PGA Tour, not PGA Tour, but his fifth event win this season.
Year. Yeah,
there's not a lot of guys who've had 5-win seasons. First of all,
right.
Second of all, it could be a multiple major winner.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see a lot of.
We don't see a lot of that. We don't see it.
I think the guy who's got the best chance of being a multiple major winner is going to be Rahm. Obviously, he already got one.
Rahm. Didn't Scottie had Masters and that was it last year, right? As far as majors.
I
think so.
Yes,
He wasn't
I don't
multiple.
think Scottie won any other majors.
So it might have been a
last year.
bit since the last multiple major winner.
But not only it could be back to back. Rahm's
probably
stands
Brooks.
a very, very good chance of winning this week and having back to back majors.
Yep.
So Rahm's a storyline, but what are your thoughts on Rory this week?
He's so hit or miss. That's the problem with Rory. Like I had the same conversation going into the Masters.
Yeah.
Like this is it for him. This is the one he wants. This is the one he circles every year. And then he just didn't show up.
I think that this has been a far more frustrating season and a far more disappointing season for Rory than a lot of us could have anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
We saw when he finished up, the end of 2022 as hot as he did. I think a lot of us looked at 23 and being like, this is the one.
Yep.
This is the year. But I don't know. I would not. I hate to bet against Rory because at any time, like the guy's got the power.
Yep.
He's got the experience. He's got every key on paper that he needs to win, but the confidence is just not seemingly there. And he was hanging his head after he lost the Masters and then sat out and cost him $3 million sitting out the next designated event.
Stunk.
It just makes me wonder what's going on psychologically.
Yeah.
So Rory, he's not in a position right now where I would put money on him. It's just more so from a curiosity standpoint, just to sit and watch and see what he's able to do. There's still a lot of season left.
He's there this morning grinding. I saw he's at that Monday driving range.
Yeah,
he's one of the few guys there.
He's one of those guys who's just sight set on majors. I mean, obviously the other big name, I think majors, Tiger, not there, which, it's always a shame when Tiger's not there, but in a way it also takes a little bit. He kind of absorbs a lot of that spotlight.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see more storylines about more guys.
Yeah. It might be a little refreshing. I hate to say it.
No, it's just like he
overshadows a lot of it,
and
which
he
is
does,
fine,
and
but
which he's earned that
deserves
right.
it.
He's
We
earned
love
that
it.
right.
I'm not saying
we
we don't
all
love
want
it.
to talk about Tiger. We all want to watch Tiger, but with Tiger out, I think you'll see a lot more of the other storylines happening. And like I said, the other one I think to look out for is Dustin Johnson.
Yep.
He just won, and he's got that length. But let's do this real quick before we wrap it up. Let's go over some of our own picks. Maybe one of your top picks and one long shot pick. I'm just pulling up the DraftKings lines right now.
Zach, you want to get involved in this? You won the last one.
He did.
You won our last major snake draft. So
Rory's still, they got him at the top 3 spot here. He's plus 1,400.
Plus 14. I'm going to give you my 2 picks right now. I'm going to go, and as a cop out to go, John, no, because like I said, any one of these guys can win. I'm going to go. I just love the way Scottie played last weekend. I'm going to go Scheffler as my main pick, and I'm going to go little baby long shot Cam Young.
Oh, you took my second.
Wait, no. I had Cam Young last time, and I should be the one picking first because I won.
That's true. All right, go ahead.
Well, look, at least we all agree on Cam Young.
So wait, I might lose my Cam Young
all
pick.
All 3 of us were going Cam Young.
Well, think about it. Cam Young is a great pick on paper with his length.
It goes to show you how keep an eye out for him. We all had him.
Cam Young, look out.
I'll let you guys take Cam Young, but I'll go. I'm going to go Brooks. Because
Smart.
Just
why
classic.
Not? Yep.
I'm going to go 3, actually. I'm going Brooks, Phil, and I'm going to go Ricky Fowler.
What's with the 3? It's just a bonus?
Yeah, just why not? I won last time. Give me another one.
Look at Ricky, too. Look at Ricky.
Where's Ricky's
working
odds?
his way in, being in the conversation.
I love that he's there.
Love that.
Is he a super long shot?
He's got to be. He's got to be a super long shot. Also, you got to look at Jason Day, man. If he's playing well.
Wait, Ricky's 65 to
also,
1.
Being he won last weekend, does that mean that he gets put in to the PGA?
J-Day?
PGA.
Oh, J-Day's in it.
Okay,
J-Day's
so
in
for
there.
sure.
Oh, he's in. He's in there, and he's.
If he wasn't, the win would have got him in.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see. Day is at. I just saw him on the list.
All right, so you're going Brooks, and then just pick.
Day's at plus 2,200.
So Cam Young's your sleeper? No. Brooks and give me one sleeper. Ricky?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I like Brooks and Ricky.
All right. Well, listen.
Wow.
I'm gonna take as my top pick. I'm gonna take Scottie. Scheffler.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I think Scottie also wants to prove that this is not the Rahm show.
Scottie let you down last time, Frank.
He did let me down, but last week he fought it out right to the end with Jason Day. I think he doesn't want this to be always the Rahm show. I think he likes to be in that number one spot, and I think he's one of the most consistent guys out there. He doesn't have the length of Rahm, but he's still plenty long. I think he's going to hit more fairways, and I think if his putter's hot, then absolutely look out for him there. And then on the more long shot, let's see here. I had, like I said, my real long shot is look out for Bryson. That's my real long shot. But my more honest long shot is going to be Fitzpatrick.
That's good.
Matt Fitzpatrick. He's a guy who's added tons of length to his own game. He's a guy who's just like, he studies the game. I don't know. After he proved us all what he can do with his U.S. Open win last year at the Country Club.
Smart.
This is another Northeast course. It's an old course.
Yeah.
It's a course that I think Fitzpatrick could be in the top 5, if not knocking on the door.
There are similarities kind of between the Country Club and Oak Hill. Like just looking at pictures,
especially with the tree removal,
you got the really tight fairways,
fast, crazy greens.
Yeah,
I think you could see a lot of that. But my real sleeper long shot is, because I know he's not been in the conversation, but Bryson. I just got this feeling like Bryson could do something this week.
All right, fine. So he took my Scottie. I'm gonna do a 1-2 punch. You can't sleep on JT at a PGA Championship. I'm sorry, you just can't do it.
Oh, I was gonna say, is JT just washed?
Title defense, baby. No,
in his last 7 starts, his best finish was 10th.
Yeah,
he has no doubt struggled this year, but yeah, he came up for the PGA last year.
There's like different events where these guys just wake up for. I'm going to go 1-2 JT Cam Young as my 2. And what we'll do is we'll just add their winnings, 2 guys.
Yeah.
Whoever has the most. So if your guy misses the cut, that's on you.
There you
All
go.
right, we'll see who wins this week.
So tune in next week and we'll see how the 3 of us who won.
I love it.
Guys, let us know your own picks this week in the comments below. It's an exciting week. We'll be continue to provide updates and things on social media, so make sure you guys are following us. Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see everybody again next week.